the card.
So this is the front markers Super Sedan invitation race, supported by French Brothers Tyres. I'd like to welcome along the people from Speedway Castle Roll tonight too. There's the green flag to send them away in the French Brothers Tyres front markers race for the Super Sedans, and on the inside it's a Scott McPherson. On the outside, Lynn Ward, the lady driver, goes to the lead. Here comes Butch Cassidy out of the pack, high right into the concrete wall. Well, he was coming around the outside. Now he's dropped right back through the field because he hit the concrete wall and hit it very hard. Lenny Edwards lost control coming out of turn 4, and up onto the infield he went too. Lynn Ward, the lady driver in the field. Come on, you ladies, let's cheer it for Lynn as she comes down main straight away. Bruce Gillen goes up into second place. Scott McPherson running third, with Greg Cassidy trying to come through on the inside, but everybody seemingly having some handling problems. But it's Lynn Ward who's out in front and setting them a merry chase.
And it's just a typical male-female relationship. The lady is smooth as silk, all the blokes gung-ho, hammer and tong trying to catch her. And they can't at the moment. But Bruce Gillen is too far away. He's starting to get a little bit smoother. Steve McFarlane in third. Butch Cassidy is all over the place, well, he's all over the place, and he really can't get on song, but Lynn Ward is still leading him. Bruce Gillen can see a little bit of a chance here to move up and pass Lynn Ward. Oh, but we've got trouble coming out of turn 1. Steve McFarlane got it sideways. Greg Cassidy went around now. The race continues. Oh, now it's stopped. Well, why do we stop?
Well, we've got to stop because Greg Cassidy was the one that caused the problem, Mike.
Fair dinkum, Butch.
So Greg Cassidy will receive the ROF signal, which means rear of field.
I thought that was like don't come Monday.
And he will have to go to the back of the pack. Lynn Ward will come round and pick up her number 1 position. Bruce Gillen will be in spot number 2, and as Mike pointed out, Bruce Gillen really starting to close in and ready to issue the challenge to Lynn Ward and Scott McPherson. 4 laps to go. Lynn Ward, can she hang on to the lead? Bruce Gillen on the outside will issue the challenge. Oh, and Gillen got away to a super start. Oh, there's Tom Wright going up on the infield. Len Edwards goes up on the infield. What is wrong with these cars? Flat tyre on the Tom Wright car. That's why he's having problems. Onto the infield he goes and out of the action. And coming down main straight away, Bruce Gillen has just got them all covered. 3 laps to go. And all of a sudden we had a heap of Super Sedans racing, and now we've got next to none racing. Scott McPherson going onto the infield. Tom Wright going onto the infield. Lenny Edwards is parked up on the infield as well.
And needs a push.
We've only got 4 cars left. Bruce Gillen, Lynn Ward, John Maunder and Greg Cassidy. And we've got a red light.
Steve McFarlane's car has got the kangaroo hop.
Gillen moves up on the outside to challenge Lynn Ward going into turn 1, 2. Ward is down low. Gillen persisting with the high line. Looks like he's going to power his way to the lead, and Gillen goes to the front, and Cassidy coming out of the pack again. Can he keep it all together this time? Into the back end of the Lynn Ward Falcon drive. Using her as the brakes, I think, at the moment. Bruce Gillen the leader. Lynn Ward is second. Greg Cassidy is third. Then comes John Maunder and Lenny Edwards. And coming down main straight away, Bruce Gillen has grabbed the lead and is 2 laps away from the checkered flag. Gillen out in front. Lynn Ward, running second, and Greg Cassidy third. Len Edwards gets up on the inside to go into 4th place. Cassidy moving through on the inside of Lynn Ward. Lynn Ward out high on the track. Cassidy, bang, into the side he goes. He's all over the place. There goes Bruce Gillen. Greg Cassidy's going to be black flagged from the race, so don't write him down in 2nd place. He's going to get a black flag. The checkered flag will go for the number 10 of Bruce Gillen. Cassidy going to get the black flag for the race. He's certainly having all sorts of handling problems. Then the 23 car of Lynn Ward, 35 Len Edwards, and the 12 car of John Maunder in what really was a bit of a mayhem of a race for the Super Sedans. Bruce Gillen grabs the checkered flag. He steps into the winner's circle, the race winner of the front markers race for the Super Sedans. A little bit of moisture coming onto the track here at the Motordrome, and then we'll have the back markers division of the Super Sedans coming up next.
All right, we'll pack them up for this 8 laps. Let's hope this goes a little bit more smoothly than the previous Super Sedan race here. Ron Pine and Ralph Ranger on pole. Darryl Farrelly and Barry Lee, the second row of the grid. The number 5 of Robert Burke from the ACT. And Darryl Kime. And at the back, 2 very quick drivers, Alan Baker and John Brown. 8 laps. We're about to bring it to you. Be a great go up front. 2 drivers with an enormous amount of test experience. Here we go, Pine and Ranger. Ranger got a little bit sideways, but has won the start from Pine. Good start, Ralph Ranger, but we haven't got to start the flashing yellow. And we'll grid them up again. Well, I couldn't pick the reason why we had the recall. Ross may be able to fill us in as to why the recall, but Ranger and Pine went at it. It went green. And we'll have a restart. So we'll certainly find out whether Pine has been able to correct his mechanical problems in the number 3 car. In the Revens Auto 1, Ralph Ranger in the tidy trim Jack Jones engine produced car. Darryl Farrelly, Barry Lee, Darryl Kime, Robert Burke, John Brown and Alan Baker. Top field, racing, and Ranger once again wins the start from Pine. Throws it in front of Pine coming out of turn 1. Heads away. Those 2 have opened up an enormous gap in lap 1. Farrelly spins out, heads to the infield. Great battle up front at the moment between Ranger and Pine. Then we have got Barry Lee, Robert Burke, Darryl Kime. Pine now moves up on the door handles of Ranger. Ranger a bit more power going down the back. Barry Lee spins out with the help of Robert Burke and moves to the infield. Darryl Farrelly having all sorts of problems. Both cars still circulating. Race continues. Ranger leads from Pine. They've just absolutely cleared out for the rest of the field. It's a race in 2 at the moment. The rest can scrap for the 3rd place. But these 2 might even be able to hook on. Oh, Ranger's made a blue. Pine's moved up on the inside. Pine, the new race leader from Ralph Ranger. Then Burke, Darryl Kime, Alan Baker starting to move through the field. And then John Brown, Barry Lee and Darryl Farrelly. Pine now opening up a big gap on Ranger. These 2 have got really the race between them. And Pine's made a half a blue, allowing Ranger to close the gap.
4 laps to go, and it's Ron Pine, the Australian Test Team captain, trying now to shake off the jackets of a bad couple of weeks and put himself down some really good quick laps. He's leading Ralph Ranger at the moment, and those 2 have just greeted the rest of the opposition. Robert Burke from Canberra holding on to a former Test Team member Darryl Kime, who's coming up on the inside. Another Test Team member Alan Baker still back in the pack, and Robert Carey right behind him. Down Main Straight 8, 2 laps to go for race leader Ron Pine, who leads a break of about 70 or 80 metres on Ralph Ranger, who made 1 mistake, but all you've got to do is make 1 mistake. Robert Carrick's gone for a spin from turn 3-4. Barry Lee has thrown sideways to miss him coming through turns 3-4, and the race is going to be declared. Ron Pine is declared race winner of the back markers race for the Super Sedans. Ron Pine first. 2nd place goes to Ralph Ranger, and 3rd place would probably go to Robert Burke as they cross the line in the little red Corvette, car number 5. Robert Burke coming home in 3rd place. Set for the start. And the green light sends them away, and Tom Wright bounced to the lead. The back of the pack was a little scrambly away. Ron Pine driving up on the inside of Robert Burke at the back of the pack. And a car up front, Lenny Edwards. Now, he's been having handling troubles all night. Up onto the infield he goes again. In fact, he's done more laps on the infield than he's done on the track tonight, Lenny Edwards. The number 11 car of Darryl Farrelly has the lead. Tom Wright momentarily in second position because the number 12 car of John Maunder trying to come up on the inside wasn't able to come through, got cramped up for room and has dropped back a couple of placings because Greg Cassidy and Alan Baker went round the outside. Cassidy goes up into third place, Alan Baker right behind him in fourth spot, then John Maunder's dropped back to fifth and Darryl Kine is running sixth. Down main straight away, and Darryl Farrelly has skipped to the lead.
Certainly has, and Tommy Wright just in the six-cylinder Falcon, by the way, holding everyone up. Greg Cassidy can't get out, Alan Baker can't get out, Johnny Maunder, Darryl Kine, Johnny Brown, Ronnie Pine, they're all packing up behind, allowing Darryl Farrelly to open up a half a lap lead. Now Greg Cassidy's got clear, and if he can keep it straight, he's got enormous power. But he's had trouble keeping it straight tonight, and Tommy Wright comes back at him. Alan Baker will be absolutely spewing at the moment. He just can't get clear. There was no other word for it. Darryl Farrelly is way out in front. The only thing that's going to pull him back to the field is when he runs into some of this slower traffic. And with 6 3/4 laps, that will be sooner than later.
Big break back to Greg Cassidy in second place behind Darryl Farrelly. Alan Baker still trying to come up on the inside of Tom Wright. He might get himself snookered here behind this slower car, and he will too. So that's really good move by Wright, although here's McFarlane causing all sorts of trouble right in front of Alan Baker. Oh, and Alan Baker is absolutely fuming.
That was the word.
You can see him turn red as he came down main straight away, then get out of my road, he said, I need to chase the leader. But Alan Baker has dropped from third place right back to about 8th or 9th at the moment because there's a real charge of cars behind our top two place getters at the moment. Darryl Farrelly in the white car number 11 is running first. Second place is being held by Greg Cassidy in the blue car 25, and then Robert Carrick, Tom Wright, Darryl Kine and Ron Pine dicing. Oh, Piney's into the wall! Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Ron Pine in the car number 3 bounces off the wall and is still running.
Darryl Farrelly now hooked up with the slower traffic with 2.5 to go. Greg Cassidy is his only danger at this stage. Now, what will Farrelly do? He's got to try and get past here. Ronnie Pine is absolutely... Have a look at the car, it's been destroyed, and he is in the test match on Wednesday night. You're kidding. Piney's got to rebuild. Farrelly, Cassidy closing. He still may have time to get on Darryl Farrelly's tail. Greg Cassidy. Farrelly hooked up. Here comes Cassidy. Farrelly. Cassidy underneath. Got hooked up. Farrelly drove him into a pocket. Really, the pressure is on now. Farrelly in the number 11. Greg Cassidy in the 25. And Johnny Brown's closing. Farrelly now. Farrelly. Cassidy. Oh, and he's gone! Farrelly's led all the way and Cassidy's going to pinch the prize. 25 Greg Cassidy. 16 Robert Carrick. 20 Darryl Kine. The 3 of Alan Baker. Wow, what a disappointment for Darryl Farrelly. He's led. Then I think the next over the line, Steve McFarlane, Robert Burke, and Bruce Gillen, and Lynn Ward, who drove well, Lenny Edwards, Ralph Ranger. Oh, but what a tragedy for Darryl Farrelly. He led for all but the last 2 corners, and...
Well, Farrelly's claiming he got hit from behind.
Well,
that's the claim.
We will make these provisional placings.
Yeah.
Greg Cassidy's got the checkered flag. He did drive well, and Alan Baker is absolutely fuming. And he's coming over here to have a word, and the officials say goodbye, ooroo.
Alan Baker saying, why don't you watch what's going on?
Take nothing away from Greg Cassidy. Give him a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. He's got the checker at the moment.
We'll just hold placings for that one because the checkered flag went out a bit late to a couple of cars. So we saw it 25 Cassidy as the winner, and I think that's the way it'll stand. 3. Stand by. And the green light signal off their way as Scott McPherson and Lenny Edwards lead the charge of cars into turn 1-2. Lynn Ward got a little untidy, got up onto the infield, but is out of danger and has dropped right back to second last place. Len Edwards, the man who's had all sorts of steering problems tonight, up the front of the car. Darryl Farrelly in second spot. Darryl Kine gets through to go up into third place. He certainly learned a lot from his test experience last week, and whilst he may not have scored well in the Australian team, he certainly has picked up a few pointers from that test match experience. Then it was Darryl Farrelly second, and look at Darryl Kime pulling an outside pass. Scott McPherson got in trouble back in the pack, but has gone up high onto the concrete wall to get out of harm's way. Coming down Main Straight, a three-car battle up front. Glenn Edwards, Darryl Kime charging to the lead, and then Darryl Kime bouncing to the lead, about to shake off the blues of last week's test match performance.
Tremendous drive by Darryl Kime. He's just edging out Lenny Edwards. Darryl Farrelly's right on his hammer, and Bruce Gillen's there also. Now Pine's making a bit of a charge from the rear of the field. Got past Ranger and a couple of others. Oh, he's hit the wall again, Ronnie Pine. Got a nudge from McFarlane and just had a little tap to the wall, but nothing untoward. Ronnie Pine is now charging on Robert Burke. Our race leader is Darryl Kime and car number 2. Then Darryl Farrelly, Bruce Gillen. Robert Carrick's got out of the pack. He's followed by Barry Lee on. Darryl Farrelly's lost it again. He's having a horror night as far as spin outs are concerned. And that's left Darryl Kime with the breathing space. Lenny Edwards in second from Bruce Gillen. Then Robert Carrick, Barry Lee, Tommy Wright in the picture of the Falcons up there. Burke, Pine. Then it's Greg Cassidy, Ralph Ranger, Steve McFarlane, and Lynn Ward.
Now Main Straight away, Darryl Kime certainly making wins in the 10. Oh, trouble back in the pack. Ron Pine has slammed into Barry Lee, has punctured the front right-hand tyre, smashed in the right-hand side of the car, and as we said, Ronnie Pine is in a hole, and it looks like it's only getting deeper.
What did you step on, Ron? Or in?
So here comes the tow truck, and Ron Pine, as Mike has already pointed out tonight, required for the test match next Wednesday, has got some real hard work to do in the pit area.
Now that's his second demolish for the night. But he's a professional, and Barry Lee has been sent to the infield.
Yeah, the rules, well, not so much the rules, but the driver briefing, the regulations were pointed out to drivers that any driver who takes another driver out of the race through his fault has to retire from the race. If Ron Pine, for example, was able to continue there because of Barry Lee's mistake, Barry Lee could also continue, but it'd have to be at the rear of the field. But because Ron Pine has been wiped out, then Barry Lee must watch the rest of the race from the infield as well, because he was deemed to have caused the trouble. And with 8 laps to go, coming down Main Straight away, the restart to our Sedan final. Darryl Kime dropping the start. Now Robert carrying out quickly with him, and coming up on the outside, Greg Cassidy has thrown caution to the wind. Driving up on the outside of Bruce Gillen. Race leader is Darryl Kime. Robert Carrick's up to second. Greg Cassidy is up to third, and Lenny Edwards hanging on to fourth place. Bruce Gillen, holding down sixth place, and trouble in Main Straight away. Scott McPherson hitting the concrete wall, trying to keep going in the race, but that car's going to be very hard to handle from now as Darryl Kime's got a charge coming at him.
And it's Robert Carrick who moves up to the handles of Darryl Kime, putting it in that occasion. Greg Cassidy's there, and we've got more drama. But Steve McPherson, as Ross pointed out, the car was in all sorts of trouble when it hit the wall here. It got a tap, and the car is just, well, not now. All of a sudden it's going again. Goodness gracious, that absolutely amazes me that he's stopped the race, and now he's all of a sudden got it going together. And we'll have another restart. We've still got 7 laps to go. And here we go with 7 to go. And Robert Carrick takes the lead. Darryl Kime comes back at him, can't go on with it. Carrick is our race leader. Gillen into third from Lenny Edwards, Ranger 4, fifth. Then Robert Burke, Tommy Wright, Steve McPherson, Lynn Warden, Kenny Johnson. Now Carrick is under extreme pressure from Darryl Kime. Gillen trying to join in, Lenny Edwards. Gillen's lost it. Everyone bails out, and we'll have another restart.
Yeah, that was bailing out time for Bruce Gillen and Ralph Ranger. They threw sideways to miss the car that got into trouble, Len Edwards, and we were saying that he seemed to have sorted out his handling problems, but he just slipped the back end going in the apex to turn 1, 2, and has brought the race to a halt. And I would say he'll have to go ROF, rear of field. I'd just like to correct that. Bruce Gillen sent to the rear. Darrell Kime inside, Robert Carrick outside, 6 laps to go at the restart. Carrick again got the power on the outside, Kime trying to stay with him, Ralph Ranger tucking in underneath Darrell Kime, looking for second spot. Robert Carrick, Darrell Kime, Ralph Ranger. Now these 3 guys are going to fight it out right for the checker. Coming down main straight away, Carrick is the leader. Gee, won't he be happy? He can take the checkered flag and win his first final at his second meeting since 12 months suspension. That'd be a big performance by Carrick. Darrell Kime, the dumped test team member, saying, well, here I am in the Tetron engine car and I'm firing. Why can't I be back in that test team? Ralph Ranger sitting in 3rd place, and he too is saying to the selectors, well, look at this, I'm right on the pace as well, and Ranger pushing up on the inside of Darrell Kime, Kime on the outside, Ranger on the inside in the battle for second place, Ranger handling the better, comes down main straight away, moves up into second, only 3 laps to go. Robert Carrick, Ralph Ranger, Darrell Kime battling out down main straight away. Who's going to get the checker?
What a race. Darrell Kime moves back into second place on the outside of Ranger. Ranger now moves up on the door handles once again. Oh, great battle in 3 here. Robert Carrick holding them both at bay. Kime on the outside, Ranger. Ranger moves back into second position momentarily, and Kime hits back. But Carrick is the one they've got to get past, and he's doing a great job out front at the moment. Carrick leads from Darrell Kime and Ralph Ranger. Last lap. They've all got to throw caution to the wind here except Robert Carrick. Carrick leads from Darrell Kime, Ranger and Lenny Edwards. But it's a battle in 3, and I think Robert Carrick's going to hang on. Carrick, oh, Kime loses it and takes Ranger with him. But Carrick wins from Darrell Kime. Lenny Edwards gets up for 3rd in front of Ranger. Then Bruce Gillen, Robert Burke, Tommy Wright and Lynn Ward. We'll wait for the official word on that, but no doubt about our winner in Robert Carrick. As Ross mentioned, coming back from 12-month suspension, has picked up his first feature race, and that will give him a great boost in confidence. A tremendous drive to Robert Carrick tonight. Great battle, great race indeed between Carrick, Kime and Ranger up front. But no doubt about our winner, ladies and gentlemen. Give him a big hand and welcome him back to the winner's circle here at the Winfield Newcastle Motordrome.
What a happy man, Robert Carrick. Good on you, Robert. Bounced back from a 12-month suspension and grabbed the checker. Now, I've also been advised by the chief steward a change in 2nd and 3rd place. Officially 2nd, 17 Ralph Ranger. Officially 3rd, 20 Darrell Kime.